We're now on day 2 of the Iran-Israeli war, and surprise, surprise, I have a few things to say. Let's break this down with 4 key points the media either distorts or just completely ignores. Point 1. Take a look at the headlines. CNN, Israel and Iran trade missile attacks. BBC, Israel and Iran exchange fire. And my personal favorite from Tehran's Hamas-affiliated fan club, Tehran Strikes Back. Now, let's ask, is this technically true? Yes and no. Yes, Israel launched missiles, but here is what they don't tell you. Israel targeted only military infrastructure, command centers, weapons depots, Iranian regime officials. Not a single Israeli strike was aimed at civilians. Iran, on the other hand, launched missiles at densely populated cities. Their goal is simple: maximum civilian casualties. As I record this, at least 3 Israeli civilians are confirmed dead. But when Israel gets hit, the headlines are neutral, sterile, exchange of fire. When Gaza gets hit, suddenly it is a photo of a crying child and the word massacre in bold letters. The reality, every single rocket launched by Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis in Yemen, and Iran is aimed at civilians, apartment buildings, schools, and kindergartens. Their goal has always been the destruction of Israel, and the media have always worked overtime to cover that up. Point 2. Many Iranians are cheering for Israel. Social media in Iran is blowing up, not with anti-Israel rage, but with celebration. People in Iran, actual Iranian civilians, are celebrating the Israeli airstrikes. Why? Because they know Israel is not bombing Iran. Israel is bombing the regime, the same Islamic dictatorship that's been jailing, torturing, and killing its own people for decades. The same regime that murdered protesters, that beats women in the streets for not wearing a hijab the right way. And for once, someone is fighting back, not against the people of Iran, but against their jailers. That's why Iranians are flooding the internet with support for Israel. Listen to this Iranian woman's message. It's gone viral for a reason. She explained it better than I ever could.
One of my friends whose mother lives in Iran, she called him and said, tell Mr. Trump we're ready for his bombs. The people of Iran want to be set free. But I do want to comment a little bit about negotiations and having talks with Iran. Every person in the US and elsewhere that is of Iranian descent understands that this government will shake your hand in diplomacy with their right hand and will be enriching uranium in secret with their left hand. This democratic, the Democrats thinking that the Iranians believe what we believe and think the way Americans believe is naive and it's narcissistic. The Iranians do not understand negotiation. They see it as a weakness. They love to talk, they love these delays, and meanwhile they're continuing to enrich uranium. The only language this Iranian regime understands is force. It is the only language they respect and they will listen to. And overwhelming power, like what Israel did tonight, is the only way to achieve peace in that region. So, and I want to say one more thing. Iran is not Iraq. The American people, look at Iraq and they say, we got rid of Saddam Hussein and somebody worse came in. Maybe the people of Iraq are not ready for democracy. The people of Iran are ready for democracy and they're hungry for it. And I hope that the weakening of this regime in Iran by what Israel has done tonight will allow them to rise up and take the beautiful country back.
Point 3. So Russia condemned Israel. At first glance, who cares? Russia's always got something wrong to say. But this is part of a bigger story. Let's rewind. Yes, the Cold War technically ended when the Soviet Union collapsed under corruption and failure. But Putin's Russia is just a rebranded dictatorship, carrying the same old anti-Western banners. Now, back in the day, it was the Red-Green Alliance, the communist Arab axis from the 1950s to the 1990s. Today, we have the Putin Islamist axis, Islamo-Putin, a modern version of the old Soviet Arab alliance. It may seem strange. Far-left ideology and fundamentalist Islam join forces. One despises religion, the other is built around it. But they are united by two things: dictatorship and hatred of the West. And sadly, much of the progressive Western world has decided to side with this new axis of evil. The Western left has fallen in line, defending Islamists, excusing terrorism, and pretending they are the victims. Point 4. The Mossad and Israel Air Force pulled off the impossible. The success of Mossad and the Israeli Air Force is going to be studied for years. Bold, imaginative, surgical. The entire top tier of Iran's military command was wiped out. Chief of staff, senior commanders. Reports suggest Iran's air defense system and even parts of its nuclear infrastructure were severely damaged. And here is the wild part. It looks like Mossad may have actual bases inside Iran. Someday we will learn how they pulled this off. But here is what already clear. Israel didn't do this alone. This kind of precision, this kind of intel, it only happens when hundreds of Iranians risk their lives to help because they believe in the fight, because they believe in Israel. Which brings us to failure. Gaza, October 7. Why did Israeli intelligence fail so badly? Because in Gaza, unlike Iran, almost the entire population supports Hamas. Let that sink in. In Iran, civilians risk their lives to help Israel fight a shared enemy. In Gaza, most civilians side with a terror regime that openly calls for Israel's destruction. That is something the media doesn't want to talk about too much. That's it for today. Follow for more updates. Drop a like and leave a comment to help push the truth forward. If you don't know what to write, just comment Wisconsin. And definitely subscribe because one of my next videos is going to explain why I never talk about the West Bank, but always talk about Wisconsin. Stay tuned. See you in the next video. Yalla bye.